Spectrum Internet and TV, yeah, they got some shady customer service going on, and I want to spend some time walking you through an experience I had, and if I can help even just one person out with this video, even though it's pretty off topic from this channel, I figure with this platform, like I said, if I can just help even one person, mission success. Now, I don't know if you have Spectrum in your service area, but if you do, I would definitely take note of my experience that I went through. To set up the context, I have moved geographically. Maybe you notice a difference behind my back here. Yeah, where I'm at a completely new house. I now live in Iowa. But anyways, I had to cancel my service at my home in Michigan. And when I called, I said, hey, I'd like to cancel my services. They said, well, where are you moving? We can transfer them. I said, no, unfortunately, where I'm moving, you don't have Spectrum there. She said, okay, let me put you on hold and I'll get it canceled.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Now, to be fair, it wasn't quite that long, but it was a very long time, right around 20 minutes. But I was then told, okay, your service is canceled. So I thought, okay, that a little strange that I had to wait that long. I mean, you would think it was just a couple of buttons. And then we jump forward a little bit, and I won't go down the rabbit hole, but the people that bought our house in Michigan, we kind of got to know them, and just to make that process a little bit easier. But within that, he dropped me a text and said, yeah, I got it switched over, but it was kind of weird. I had to cancel your service because they told me that the service at that address was still active, but they did let me cancel it, which on a couple notes, very, very strange. The obvious one being, well, I was already told it was canceled, but then the second one being, they let somebody else cancel my service, which, I mean, I'm glad they did just because I didn't need it, but still, that's a little sketchy. So that was a couple things. But then we go forward even further, and then I noticed, because I logged in just to make sure, that I have a bill. And I thought, okay, well, it was canceled. So I call in, and this is where things get really, really shady. I said, yeah, I called and canceled, but I see this bill, so I just want to get that, clarified. And I should know I was very, very polite through all this too. And, oh, well, yeah, well, we don't have any records of you calling and canceling way back when you said you did. We do have a record of this date, and that date was when the buyer of my house canceled my service for me. But they said, well, but that was the date that your buyer canceled was already within the next billing range. So, that just bill has got to be what it is because it happened within that billing window. I said, oh, okay. But I mean, I know for sure that I called and the lady told me that she canceled it. So can you help me out here? And okay, well, I'll check the notes again. No, I don't see any notes. I said, okay, well, I know for sure, like positively, I called. And you're always told that the voice or the call will be recorded. So could you just access that call and you'll see that I asked and was told that it was canceled. And then here is the key thing. Now let's see if you can figure out the trickiness here, the shadiness here, because there's no lie here. There's no lie. Well, we don't have access to those calls here in the billing department. That's what I was told. We don't have access to those calls here in the billing department. So I'm like, oh, okay. And you just kind of, and so there's nothing you can do. No, I mean, that's just our policy. And that date was within your new billing window. So you've got to pay that bill. And nothing more was said. It was just left as, no, I don't have access to those calls here in the billing department. So in other words, they were totally willing to just drop the call there and end it there.
Really?
Now let's go back to that statement that I was told. I'm guessing you probably caught it because they're not as sneaky as what they probably think they are. You're saying, well, Clay, they said we don't have access to those calls here in the billing department. So I asked, I said, okay, well, can I speak to somebody else? Can I speak to somebody above you? Can I speak to somebody outside of the billing department? And to her credit, oh yeah, let me manage you, or let me transfer your call to somebody. So transferred me to, I don't know, some sort of guy with a fancy title who did have access to the recording. And he listened to it and he came back and was like, wow, of that 20-minute file, there was like 40 seconds of talking. I was like, yeah, no, I was on hold for quite a while. And he said, well, at the end, it was very black and white. You said you wanted it canceled. She told you it was canceled. So I apologize, sir. We will get that refunded to you. So that part is why I'm not going to just call Charter or Spectrum, whatever they're going by these days, Spectrum. I'm not going to say they're a total scam, but they are very, very shady. Because like I said, that first department, the customer or the billing department, they were not prepared. They were not going to send me to somebody that had access to that file. I had to ask. So hopefully you already know this. Hopefully I'm not, giving you any sort of like mind-blowing, but if you get any sort of call like that, and I would say this doesn't even necessarily need to be for Spectrum, but anybody where I don't have access to the call and then they give you here in this department, there's where it's no lie. Sure, in that department, maybe they don't have access, but say, well, I would like to speak to somebody that does have access to those recorded calls, please. Because when you know that you did something, obviously you would want to go where those calls are at. So I've never experienced something like that where I was in the right. They knew that I was in the right, or maybe she didn't necessarily know, but let me put it this way. They had the documentation, they had the data to confirm or deny whether or not I was making stuff up, but they weren't willing to access that unless I specifically asked to have that done. So if anybody from Spectrum happens to watch this, that's super shady on your part. I hope you change that policy because it's not a good look. Again, thank you for removing the funds and crediting back me for that billing, but not a good look at all. But so just something to keep in mind there that it was a very, very shady experience. So that's all I have for you. Like I said, totally off topic, but one of those things where I think it was worth it because if I can just help one person out, then good. I'm glad, well worth it. So have you ever had any sorts of experiences like this? Comment down below if you have any other sorts of tricks or hacks or anything like that. I would love to hear them, and if we can help other people out, fantastic. So that's all I have for you, but Spectrum, not impressed. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.